Hey folks, my name is Jürgen, aka Not I'm Proud of It, and Destiny has brought you to my channel today to enjoy a chat between me and the surgical ninja again. You're back on the channel, man.
Yeah, this night. Thank you for having me. We're back to talk about more Cyberpunk cardboard crack.
Yes, definitely, because there were a lot of questions we got when we put our last video live. There's still a lot of confusion going on about what's happening after the Kickstarter now finished. The late pledge was a big issue. Now we're getting questions about retail pre-orders for a low price. What have you been hearing when it comes to all the noise around Cyberpunk?
So yeah, I've been getting a lot of. Actually, I got this seconds pre-orders for the retail boxes. I believe it was Game Nerds who most people, actually all the people that messaged me, that was the website that they first saw. I believe you could correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was like $109 they listed it for.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think
they
so,
were
yeah.
like, everyone was messaging me like mad because I'm not like the rep or anything. I'm just the person who's really pushing the game locally, and even people I haven't met. They've been messaging me on Facebook in the region of Central California, and I got a lot of people mad like, bro, why the f did I back this on Kickstarter if it's already cheaper in at the LGS? Like, I understand we should support the LGS, but why is it cheaper? I should have just waited. Like, this isn't worth getting the exclusives on Kickstarter. And I'm like, whoa, oh, wait, you guys didn't know that there's gonna be. I was like, hey, all right, let's just pause for a sec. Let's take it back a little bit. There's a retail box and then there's a Kickstarter box. So those are two separate products. And if you actually divide the price by total packs, I did a video on this. I think you did too. The price per
Yep.
pack at Game Nerds price, which is actually less than the MSRP for a retail box, but at Game Nerds price, that comes out to like $4.50 a pack. And then at the MSRP of a Kickstarter box, so I'm actually sure it's going to be less than MSRP on release as people dump boxes. But at MSRP, it comes out to 450 or sorry, 4.99 a box exactly. So it's 49 more cents you're paying for a Kickstarter pack, not box. So it's actually not that big of a difference. They're the same packs. The only difference is that the Kickstarter packs are beta stamped and they have their own 31 iconic rares, and retail actually has their own iconic rares. So there's actually a reason to pick up retail, but you don't have to. And there's enough difference and almost the same price that you should be good backing the Kickstarter. Like, there's no, you shouldn't be freaking out like, I wasted money, but you really didn't, and you're getting a lot of extra stuff. And depending on your pledge level, you're actually getting extra accessories, be it dice, playmats, the extra free promos that everyone gets on top of the beta box. So yeah, I don't understand the freak out. I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's just people crying that the sky is falling.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you there. I think you summed it up perfectly. We indeed do have the Kickstarter boxes with the Kickstarter boosters with the beta symbol and the 31 iconics, right? And then we do have the retail boxes that seem to be a lot cheaper, but there are only 24 packs in retail booster boxes, not 36 packs. And then you do not get the extras. If you calculate the individual booster price, you indeed end up with roughly 450, 460 on average. There are some exceptions. For example, I made a video about a German pre-order yesterday for boxes that are as low as 80 bucks. It's
Ooh.
euros, but still, it's very, very low. And if you buy a case, you get the individual box for 77.49. So that's the lowest price I ever saw, but they are a huge retailer and they ship across all of Europe, and they normally buy an insane amount of boxes. So I think they got a very good price from distribution. But I think that's the lowest price we will ever see online out there. But in the end, it's all the extras. It's you get the product early, you get everything you need, and you get all the promos, the beta box. Then I think the individual booster price, even if you pledged at a higher tier, comes down to below $4. So yeah, you're always better off. backing the Kickstarter, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah. Like for me, like we said last podcast, I backed the Kickstarter Night City Legend, and at depending on how you factor in just the price of the uncut sheets subtracted from the total 8,000, like the boxes are pretty much below $100,
Yeah.
and you got a bunch of them, right? So yeah, I think
54, man. 54
yeah,
boxes. What are you
I
gonna
think
do with all those boxes?
I mean I'm gonna open probably 2 cases right away, so 12 boxes. I'll probably open 2 more cases, just over time on the channel, and then keep the rest sealed. Keep some for events that I want to hold, because I'm gonna probably be the one in charge of the local events for now. Sadly, even though I shouldn't, because I work like 8 days a week. Somehow I work 8 days a week, raise my kids for 30 minutes, and then I go back to work. So but I'm also going to try to hold the events. So I need some back stock, I guess, for prize support.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always good to have some extra stock. And I mean, if you in the end can supplement that with retail product, and you can use retail product for a draft or whatever, and then you can make a beta draft a little more special, and maybe once a month a beta draft, and the rest of the month like a retail booster box draft or whatever, then I think it's good to have some extra product stashed away somewhere. It's always good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was curious if you were adding any extra stuff, but you get everything, right? For me, it's a little
Yeah.
different. I definitely want to add a couple of not booster boxes, maybe one booster box, so I can keep my case of the Padres Blessing pledge sealed for a little bit, at least until I can't resist and open it. But I want to probably add a couple of binders, a couple of deck boxes, a couple of sleeves, just because now there's a lot of stuff on Kickstarter that's exclusive to Kickstarter, right?
Yeah. So for me, I get with my pledge. So that's what I was saying. And like my pledge level, even though it's expensive, the way, like when I factored in the price of the Kickstarter boxes, that wasn't even factoring in all the accessory. You get one of each accessory plus
Yeah.
2 total dice sets. I didn't factor
Yeah.
that into the pricing at all. So if I did, the price per box is actually probably like 50, 60 bucks. But anyway, the
Jeez.
accessories, I'm still going to be buying extras. I'm buying an extra deck box and an extra pyramid playmat. I actually did a video on my channel comparing the pyramid playmat. That's the company, by the way, for those cloth playmats. If you've never had a cloth playmat before, they're pretty much, from what I've seen, and I bought a lot and I've seen a lot, they're top of the line for cloth playmats. So I'm really happy that Weird Co partnered with them. Yeah, they're playmats, and I compare them. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, no, just a question in between. What's the difference between like a normal playmat and a cloth playmat?
Yeah, so a normal playmat is a neoprene playmat. It's
Yeah.
like a mouse pad, right? It's just like a giant mouse pad, and you roll it up or whatever. A cloth playmat is actually like, it's made out of this like really, really soft cloth, and you could fold it in whatever you want, tuck it in your backpack. But it's like a really nice thick cloth. There's different materials, and they tell you what kind of material the company's using. And there could be like a really rough one, but it's still really soft. There could be a thicker one that's also soft, and it's just like, it's really nice. The original OGs who made cloth playmats were Calso Brains, which is actually like an hour away from me right now. I'm working the Bay Area in California. They're in San Francisco. They're the OGs of the playmats, but they're so OG that they don't want to innovate on the playmat. And companies like Pyramid, who are like new, but they're newer to the game, they're just blowing them out of the water. I'll link. We talk later about this. I'll send you a video that I did comparing the two. But the Pyramid playmats are really, really nice. And if you guys are thinking about adding that in Backerkit, because in Backerkit you should be able to still add add-ons, and I highly recommend. It seems expensive. I think they're like 120, but that is around the price the playmats go for, sadly. but it's really worth the quality and it'll last you forever. I have playmats from Pyramid that I've used for years, and they look brand new out of the package. The Calcibrains playmats are called Spellgrounds. Those those are rough, but yeah, that's a whole nother topic. I don't want to get too much into that, but yeah, those are really good accessories that I highly recommend.
I think I will probably add one of those then, because I always look for something I probably can't get in retail later. So something
Uh-huh.
exclusive to Kickstarter, or at least a little more difficult to get. And I believe I haven't really seen any of those cloth playmats over here in Europe, at least
Yeah.
not in my normal LGS or anywhere where I normally buy playmats. So that might be a very interesting thing for me to add, because I know I won't be getting this easily later on. So good
Yeah.
good advice there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and the deck boxes look pretty
oh
nice
yeah.
as well. And I'm a big fan of the sleeves as well, because I normally only use Dragon Shield with all my trading card games. So that's a good thing for me. Yeah, yeah. A lot of I need to save up a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. Those those
Yeah.
playmats are definitely worth it. And those pyramid playmats usually they only do one run. I'm pretty sure they'll only do one run because they're hard to make. Like yeah,
Okay.
they're not like regular neoprene ones. And the price of these playmats on secondary market are usually for a non Kickstarter game, just like a regular release. They usually go for more on the secondary market. So I'm not trying to build FOMO, but I'm saying if you want a design that's offered on the Kickstarter, I would just bite the bullet and select it now rather than later. Same thing with the deck boxes. I don't see them offering that outside of the Kickstarter. Neoprene playmats are way easier to manufacture. So if you want a neoprene playmat, I would not prioritize that. Um, this is how easy it is, and this is probably illegal. I mean, it's not probably, it is illegal, but companies like Inked Playmats, I think they're out of business now, but they're able to just take any image you send them and they could ship it out to you within like a couple days. So that's how easy it is to make a neoprene playmat. A fabric playmat is way harder, significantly harder. So I don't see them ever doing another run.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I create my own playmats, not and proud of it playmats sometimes for the Patreons. So I know it's very easy and it's indeed reasonably priced. But those cloth playmats definitely sound like something I really want to add. When do you think the pledge manager will go live? Because I haven't seen any mail from Backerkit or any Backerkit invite or whatever yet. And they
Mhm.
said like the 2nd of May they would send it out right away, right?
Yeah. So in my local Cyberpunk Facebook group, people are saying this Friday. I don't. I mean, that's optimistic, but maybe next week. I think that they were probably planning on that if they had like a million in funding. So I think currently with 28 million in funding, we have like 55,000 backers or something. Correct? You can correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, but there's a
No,
lot of backers. So
I think it's almost after the late pledge ended, I think it's 55,800 or something. You're absolutely right.
yeah, yeah. So I don't think they were anticipating like this much success. Also, I think they cleared like another they almost cleared 2 extra mil or maybe 1.5 mil extra. So I don't even think they expected to make that much in like late like people hanging on the edges and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll pay the extra and just back it now in late pledge. So I don't even think they were expecting that. So there's a lot more funding, a lot more backer kits to send out, a lot more planning behind the scenes. So optimistically, people saying this Friday, I think that is optimistic, but maybe next week. Give them some
Yeah.
time to get ready. There's a lot to do behind the scenes, as you know, because you have a background in card games and video games. You know that there's a lot going behind the scenes, even though people don't think so, and they're just getting mad and stuff. And rushing it to satisfy the masses is just gonna make a worse release, I guess, a worse backer kit release. There might be mistakes made. Yeah, you want them to make sure it goes smooth.
Definitely. Totally agree. I rather have them take 1 or 2 weeks extra to launch a good Backerkit survey and a good yeah, pledge manager, then rushing things, and in the end nothing works, and you can't add stuff, and then your pledge gets screwed up, and everything is it's just being difficult. I don't like that, so I rather have them get ready, because I mean, we got like almost 56,000 backers. So if everybody, if only half of them like tries to access the Backerkit once they get the mail, it's gonna be crazy. So
Hmm.
probably nothing will work. And then it makes more sense if they take a little more time. It would even
Hmm.
make sense, I think, if they send out the Backerkit service in waves. So yeah, let's see what will
Yeah.
happen, but I assume not earlier than next week neither. No, I agree.
Yeah. Oh, and also to add on that, like just for example, the Star. I don't know if you heard about the StarCraft miniature game. They
Yeah,
released their thing on not Backerkit, Game Found, I think, 2 months ago, and
yeah,
they were not anticipating the popularity. They actually crashed the whole Game Found website from just people trying to back StarCraft.
yeah. It's crazy.
So
It's crazy.
they
But it's
so
it's it's Archon Games, right? They
yeah,
did it. Yeah,
Archon Studios.
yeah.
So
They did a
oh
lot of licensed stuff. They did Masters of the Universe as well. Got a little
yeah,
He-Man back there, but yeah, they did. I think Heroes of Might and Magic too. I really and now they're doing Heroes of Might and Magic the card game, and now they're doing indeed like StarCraft. So they do video game stuff and old cool licenses. Yeah, they are pretty.
yeah,
How do you call this? They are. They have a pretty good track record so far. A Polish
yeah,
company, I think, a Polish
yeah.
studio.
Yeah. So I think so. If StarCraft made a lot of money too, but not 28 mil, I think it would probably be better for Kickstarter or sorry, for Weirdco to just release the backer kit in waves throughout next
Mm,
week. There's no rush.
yeah.
It doesn't matter if you fill that out Monday or fill it out Friday. You're not going to get it any sooner. So I think they should just take their time with it, make sure nothing crashes. Yeah, just make it a smooth backer kit release. People fill it out, they order some add-ons, and then they wait till 2027. So
Probably, yeah. Do you think they will ever release any numbers of the boxes added after the initial Kickstarter phase? Like now we can calculate how many boxes there will be, but on top of those boxes, obviously there will be a lot of boxes added during the Pledge Manager phase. Do you think they will
I
ever
mean,
release any numbers, or probably
I
not, right?
mean, you could, yeah. I don't see a reason. I think probably in their best interest not to release the extra boxes from Pledge Manager because if people are freaking out from the retail boxes being released, they're gonna freak out when the total Kickstarter boxes go from like I don't know, like 300,000 to like 400,000, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, my value of my sealed product went down." They're gonna be freaking out. Which I'm gonna just say 99.9% the value of your sealed product is gonna be going down right on release. But
Yeah.
my theory or my hypothesis is that it'll go down to 140, 150 a Kickstarter box on release as people try to dump their product. And then maybe in a year or two, it'll go back up. You could see that in games like Gundam, TCG, even what else? Grand Archive, a game I've been talking about this a lot. Really trying to not play that game, but that game, I think that game made like 1 million in Kickstarter. And that reprint, the first set has been reprinted a lot, but the first release, first edition is like a lot. It's like $600, and that game's been out for what 1 or 2 years. So that's an example of the first run going up in price. There is a lot more product, but this game is going to have a lot of people trying to make decks, so they're going to be hunting for playsets. For example, like mine, a lot of people are concerned that the Night City Legend backers are going to sell their boxes. I think they are, but there a lot of them like me are going to be opening them. Like I'm not selling any of my boxes unless a local needs it. But Yeah, I'll be opening mine to get playsets, and I'm sure a lot of other people who are playing the game will be opening their product to get cards, right? Because there's no singles
Yeah.
out. So if you want cards, you're gonna have to open product for the first month or so.
Yeah, I agree. I think in general, boxes will go down in the beginning a bit, and I think we talked about it before simply because there is an enormous amount of beta boxes that will be released. And in addition to that, we will have the retail boxes. And I think you mentioned it as well before that if you want to order retail boxes and you also want to get some beta boxes, you have to order like ratio 2 to 1. So there will be a lot of retail boxes as well. And I think some people won't care about the beta symbol and about the collectability and just want to get the cards and the playsets. So the price of the beta boxes will go down if they can get the retail box a little cheaper. But yeah, I saw it, especially with Sorcery. The alpha, I backed it during Kickstarter, and that was a very smart move because the box price went up to like 1,200, 1,300, and we had like 30,000 boxes. So was not the highest amount of boxes out there for any Kickstarter game, but I think it was at that moment the most successful trading card game on Kickstarter, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the boxes, obviously we have a lot of beta boxes. I think I calculated around 150,000 without any add-ons, so that's already a lot of boxes. That plays into it as well. So 30,000 compared to 150,000 is different, but the demand will be higher too, like you said. So in the end, probably those boxes will go up eventually if the game keeps people interested and if the game stays successful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing with sorcery is that so the same thing. So there was a lot of players and there was a lot of collectors. So a lot of people were opening boxes. So when you open a box, you get rid of that supply permanently. Especially it's a Kickstarter, it's a single run. So that's permanently gone, right?
Yep.
And just like the alpha box and sorcery to their beta box, in Cyberpunk, the beta box, sorry, there's like weird terminology. The beta box is the first edition pretty much for Cyberpunk compared to the retail box. And also they should have named that differently. They should have named the Kickstarter box alpha and the retail box beta. They fucked that
Probably.
up. But anyway, the retail box is having its own rares too. So that goes back to the sorcery, is that people who are collectors, they were opening product to get those specific rares, right? So only Alpha Box in Sorcery has the Frank Frazetta art, which is huge.
Yeah.
I don't even have those art. I need to buy singles of it, which I haven't had time for because I put all my money in Cyberpunk. But the art is amazing, right?
It's amazing. I love the Frank Frazetta alts, and yeah, in general, try to get like a foil ruler of Thule. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh, I need a courtesan. And I need a death dealer. Those are two of the most iconic arts of Frank Frazetta. Right?
Yes, definitely.
Those
And
are
Death Dealer is fantastic. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful card.
Yeah,
And I've
like,
seen it in
even-
foil. I had it in my hands. I don't have it anymore because I'm a collector, but some cards I'm okay to let go to get more cards. But yeah, the foiling on those sorcery cards is amazing, especially cards that have a very distinguished piece of artwork as a base. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. So, like in comparison, I'm pretty sure Cyberpunk has not sent their stuff to the printers yet. It would be very smart of them to perfect the printing and the foiling of their cards to make it very collectible. For example, I hate to keep using sorcery as an example, but the first few runs of sorcery was really bad, right? So for beta, like beta has like 3 different printings. There's like first release, summer printing or whatever, and the first 2 printings are terrible, like super dark. And then the most recent printings are actually the best ones where they're clear. So I think it would be good for Cyberpunk not to rush things to demand, right? I'm sure they have they're feeling rushed by CD Projekt Red because of 28 million is a lot of money. You want to make sure
that's a lot of money.
You deliver on that. But I hope they take their time to make sure the release is good and perfect.
Yeah, I totally agree, and let's not. We agreed up on the fact that we're going to talk about sorcery in a future video as well. And I'm a strong supporter of sorcery, and I organize my own tournament, a pretty big one over here in Europe. And I know the Eric's Curiosa guys a little bit, so I'm a big fan and supporter of sorcery and the community, and I'm proud of that. Not only a proud nerd, but also a proud sorcery supporter since the first hour. But they have their issues, and I'm one of the few content creators that has been doing sorcery videos since the beginning, literally, that has actually talked a little bit about those issues, because the scene is very pro sorcery, and sometimes you can't say anything that's wrong with it, but the printing quality wasn't good. So
Yeah.
I have beta printings that I grade some sorcery cards here and there, and I have beta printings that didn't get better than an 8.5 because simply the first wave of beta and then the second wave summer beta were really badly cut. The corners and the edges were super rough. Sometimes the size of the sides and the normal cards differs. So yeah, then you got 3 different printings indeed for the beta, and all of them are of different quality. And I analyzed it with a microscope to make sure that you could authenticate them. But yeah, it's very difficult because they all look different. They all have a different color. Some better, some worse. So in the end, as an early adopter, I pretty much got fucked because I
Yeah.
get the bad stuff, and
Yeah.
the other guys did that got in later now got the good printing.
Mhm.
And then we got Arthurian Legends, which actually is pretty okay quality wise, weirdly enough. And then Gothic, I have edge problems again. So it's weird. I don't know what they're doing
Yeah.
there with maybe they sharpened the knives, the cutting knives for Arthurian Legends, and they didn't do for the others. But they I'm not very much fond of printing in China trading card games. I'm a big supporter of Japanese printers because they are the best quality out there. Big supporter of Katamundi in Europe, here in Belgium. I actually visited them when I was doing some work for Wizards of the Coast. So I saw the facilities. They are top notch, and they have been printing trading card games since 1993. They were the first printers for Magic the Gathering for the first sets, and they still print for Wizards of the Coast after all these years. I'm not a big fan of Chinese printing facilities simply because of the counterfeiting issues and everything. So I will be very curious where they're going to print these Cyberpunk cards. Actually, makes a big difference on the quality, the counterfeiting prevention, and the general foiling and these kind of things. I have to admit, the Chinese foiling for sorcery is fantastic. So that's a different story. But
so there's a promo card that Weirdco gave to their employees called Chooms Till the End. It's in foil, and the foiling on that card looks really good. So if that is an indicator of their first test, I mean, I'm going to look at that as a test, right? It's a first batch of foils. And the first batch of foils are actually the card in the alpha kit. Yeah, but
have you received an alpha kit?
No, they're actually out. But my LGS, I did the Learn to Play at. They had 2 alpha kits that we were doing the Learn to Play with. Ugh, and I love that store, Ender's Games. I love you, but she was very anti sleeves. She did not want to sleeve that alpha deck up, and she shuffled them like a deck of playing cards, and it hurt my ears. I was like, oh, Dory, we should get some sleeves on those. She was like, no. These are meant to be played with, and she riffle shuffled them like a deck of playing cards, and I was like, oh, no, don't do that. But please. It's cool.
The collector in us just hurts.
So it's not even the collector. I was like, we're handing this to like a dozen people. You don't want to put sleeves on these cards.
Yeah,
they're gonna get. But it's cool. It's that event. We had a lot of people. I was expecting to only be there for 1 to 2 hours for the Learn to Play. I was there for 6 hours until closing. So there's a lot. That just goes to show there's a lot of interest. Not just in backers. I got 5 people to pledge. That just there, and that's what they told me. And they were actually Lorcana players. And Magic players. I did my Learn to Play in the middle of a Lorcana Stores Championship tournament, and then a Magic Commander event started toward the end of the night. or like at 6 p.m. Store closes at 11. So the Commander players were like, "Oh, what is this game? Oh, I love Cyberpunk. Oh, I didn't know they're making a game." Somehow they didn't know, and I was like, "Oh yeah, check out they're in late pledge right now. You should check it out." So and then two guys who came for the Learn to Play ended up backing it too. So yeah, that just goes to show how much more backers there are who haven't backed the game.
I think it's going to be very popular down the road simply because of the IP, and a lot of people say IP games always fail. No, Pokemon is an IP game, and we got a couple of others like One Piece and Gundam that are doing quite well, and maybe they won't survive for the next 20 years like Magic the Gathering does, but Magic the Gathering nowadays does pretty well with IPs too. So it's very simple. IP get people in.
Any IP.
Any Magic the Gathering gets any IP they can get their hands up on that they think that will sell. Yeah, definitely. I don't know what you did, by the way. The blurriness is gone, and I think the delay is pretty much gone as well. And I see you pretty clearly now. So
nice, perfect.
Something goes right. That's good. No, but I was curious as well when you said, "Hey, you did like a Learn to Play." Did people like the gameplay? I mean, I had a look. Yeah. Go ahead.
I've never, I didn't really get. Then I saw that the booster boxes weren't even sealed; they're just a circle piece of tape holding it closed. I was like, dude, how? So that's an example of a big company, Disney product, being rushed out and just being really shitty rushed. They didn't even bother putting a neoprene wrapping around it with branding, like at least like even just a basic wrapper on the booster box. They didn't even do that. So anyway, I couldn't even get more than one box.
Yeah, Ravensburger is not a trading card game company. Ravensburger is an old German traditional board game company. I actually visited their offices a couple of times. They have very good games. They have puzzles. They have board games mainly, and good IPs and licenses as well. But they never released a trading card game, so they simply didn't know how to release it. I don't know how they got the IP or why they were chosen, but that wasn't the right move, in my opinion.
Yeah, so that is like that was one of the major flags before I started really talking until I was assigned like a community rep from Weirdco, and I talked to a lot more people in the Discord, in the social media content creator channel. But yeah, that was a little red flag for me. I was like, oh man, Ravensburger kind of shit on the game when it first came out. They did a lot of blunders. This company Weirdco is new, but as you know, ironically, Kawa is one of the head guys for Weirdco, and he's a Lorcana player or champion. He's Eugen Lorcana. I don't know. I don't really follow professional Lorcana games, but yeah. So anyway, but going back to that event I did, it was toward the end of the Lorcana Store Championship, which is like a Magic Store Championship, right? Like once per set, they have a giant tournament for locals to play for promos and stuff. So there's a lot of players there, and they're like, "Oh, this game's kind of like Lorcana." And I was like, "Oh, really? I don't really play Lorcana, but that makes sense because I think Kawa is from Lorcana." So that's what they were saying. Then the Magic players were like, "Oh, this game's fresh. This is like nothing I've seen before." So that was those are two opposite spectrums of first impressions, and they both liked it. So the Lorcana players like the familiarity, the Magic players like something different. And I was talking about this. I don't know if it was on Discord or one of my videos, but Magic players feel like they're only playing because they have an invested monetary position in Magic. I kind of feel like that. I feel like I probably have like it's not good. I probably have like $100,000 in Magic cards, and I feel like I'm playing because I have to, because I have such an investment in Magic. So everyone's looking. That's probably why I'm really big into Cyberpunk. I want something new and fresh. And then also I just played the video game and watched the anime, and it was amazing. So that kind of increased my vested interest. That's why a lot of these Magic players that were just at that one event were really interested in this game. Also, though, one complaint they did have, I think we talked about this before, They really think this game needs a second play phase. And I think Kawa was hinting in his podcast that they actually listened to that, and they're going to be releasing at some convention the new updated rules for the game. So apparently they've already updated the rules, but they haven't released it to the public. So I'm actually very curious if they did add a play phase 2. So I don't know
stuff.
what are your opinion on that? Do you think the game is better or worse without it?
I honestly, I think I haven't played it enough. I had a look at a couple of videos. I haven't printed out the cards myself yet. I definitely checked out the gameplay. To me personally, it looked a bit like Star Wars Unlimited. I have to say, where you use your cards for resources and so on. So I normally like it's pretty straightforward because I think Magic is complicated enough, and I have the same as you. I'm very invested in Magic. I always will love Magic because I play it since I've been a kid. I've been there as from launch, and I got a lot of my old cards still, so I will never get rid of those probably if I don't have to. But on the other hand, I tried like every trading card game that came out over the last 30 years, where you have your shelf of shame. I have a big box of shame with all the trading cards game in there. I played a lot of them pretty competitively, like the versus system and some others, Magic as well in the beginning. And yeah, I first always try to get more games in because I want to voice a reasonable opinion. And I don't think I'm there yet with Cyberpunk, but I like it straightforward. So an extra phase might add extra complexity, and if that's needed, that's good. If it's not needed and it makes things more complicated than they have to be, it's not good. So I have to feel it first, I guess.
Yeah, well, the way the cards are designed right now, and maybe it's because it's the first set. Also, these are alpha cards that they've released so far. They've said that most of these alpha cards are actually more complicated than the final card is. They're just like that for demos. So the way it is now, though, it doesn't complicate it. I think it opens more like thought processes. Also, they're thinking about also changing the requirements for instants. So, right, currently how it is, in order to use a quick hack, which are the instants in this game, you have to have an untapped or unspent character or unit, and then you have to tap them or spend them and then play the card to use it. So a lot of players were saying that's a lot. That's very restrictive. Like maybe if that was an additional cost to use a quick hack, but not the whole cost. Like every quick hack should not need you to spend a character to use it. I know that's thematic. That's like the characters using it, but I think that's slows the game down a lot. I think it makes controlling deck just almost always worse. Like a controlling deck shouldn't actually be running a lot of units or characters. They should not be running a lot of characters. They should be passing with unspent resources into your opponent's turn, right? So if you have to play a unit or character to play a quick hack, then you're not playing control. You're just playing every other deck everyone else is playing, in my opinion. And that's what a lot of Magic players were saying too. But then there's drama of the Lorcana players saying, "Oh, maybe we don't need Magic. We don't want Magic players in our game." And I was like, "That's not a way you should look at it. You should." I'm not saying we're not changing the rules for the Magic players. I think you're just making a better game for everyone. Also, you should be open to having Lorcana and Magic players and other game players. There's players who haven't had a TCG that are commenting in the Discords and the Facebook groups, and this is their first TCG.
Yeah,
so it's
get
good.
A lot of those too.
Yeah, so referencing back to our sorcery talk, this is a reason why sorcery doesn't grow as a community or player base, because you're not trying to get players. You're kind of closing. You're trying to be a boutique game, like closed community, like the snobby people with their expensive cards. Like they're like, like with their pinky up drinking champagne, like, I got my Frank Frazetta last night graded. I got a 9.8. What'd you get? Like you don't want to be like that. You don't want to. You want to be open to all players. You want to, I don't know, be nice, be friendly. There's no harm in being nice and teaching a game to other players. I know a lot of Magic players actually like eat their own young. They're really kind of rude. But
I had that experience as well with Magic players. Yeah,
yeah,
not only in the beginning but later on as well. Magic players
yeah,
can be super welcoming or super rude. There's
yeah,
not a lot of room for anything in between. Sorcery, the community, I have to say, especially over here in Europe, and also with a lot of friends I have in the US that organize tournaments and such. The community normally is super welcoming, super friendly, and very, very eager to get people into the game and to teach the game. So it's
yeah,
interesting to hear you had a different experience there, because
yeah.
I am
Well,
a very big supporter of the positivity of the sorcery
mhm,
community as
yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, well, sadly, Central California has one of the biggest competitive,
Mm.
surprisingly, because I thought Fresno was just like a ghetto city, but it has some of the most competitive and actually best in class players in the U.S., if not worlds. Um, so, for example, Warhammer tabletop game, they have the best in faction in the world, all in Fresno for their army. Like that's like Necrons, like Space Marines have like different factions in their faction. For those factions, it's not good. And then there's a lot of Magic players
Uh,
too.
I know, I know.
So I mean,
I'm an Imperial
being
Fist player, so yeah.
oh yeah. Well, I'm a dirty Dark Eldar player, and then my Space Marine faction is Dark Angels. But
I have to admit that my Elder days date very much back to the beginnings when you still had like
oh yeah,
metal
there you
models.
go.
So I
Yeah,
got models that are 30 years old. My whole Elder army is still metal, but
yeah,
nowadays I'm
nice.
into Imperial Fists. So yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, didn't want to interrupt you, but I'm
no,
always happy
yeah.
to
Oh yeah,
share the nerdism.
I love Warhammer. I was actually talking to one of the doctors at work about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've always been following Warhammer, but I never took the plunge. Like he just follows the story." I was like, "Yeah, the storyline's sick." Anyway, I don't want to go off tangent on Warhammer, but I'm just saying that
All good.
the local community of gaming, and the reason I'm bringing it up too is because they all mesh together. Warhammer players will be at the store playing a match. They'll see an event going. Like there were Warhammer players playing when I did the Learn to Play, and they came over to watch. So, or they'll come over to see Lorcana. Lorcana will come over to see what I'm doing with Cyberpunk. So you want to get all these communities into your game, and hopefully not bring toxicity, but you want them to all just play nice with each other. But locally, I'm just saying, like the Magic players are like, "Oh, why are you playing? Why are you playing Heroes Downfall? You'll increase the efficiency of your deck by 1.33% with a line on top of the 3 if you run 4 fatal pushes instead, and then sideboard this for Planeswalker removal." And you're just like, bro.
Mm. I just want to have fun.
So yeah, and then Lorcana players are just like, yeah, I made a Lilo and Stitch deck.
Yeah.
Like they just like
No, but
yeah, go ahead.
but that's exactly why I like sorcery, because you got both of them. And in sorcery, normally the thematic gameplay really rules, and that means you sometimes just swap. Even I've seen professional players at my tournaments that are really, really good players, competitive players, but they just added a card for the flavor. And then
Mhm.
yeah, it's very thematic. That's what I like about sorcery as well. But I hear
Yeah,
you, especially that's why nowadays I'm more of a kitchen table player when it
yeah,
comes to Magic the Gathering, because I just want to enjoy the game, and I play
yeah,
a lot still. But yeah, it's the competitive days, at least for Magic the Gathering, for me are over because of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for Cyberpunk, I'm definitely going to be making a Judy deck, but I think the Judy deck actually might be good because they keep hinting that the Judy card is that what she does is a secret because it's pretty good. So I think, ironically, I was gonna make a Judy deck because I like the character, and I was just gonna make it for fun deck. And now I think it's gonna be an actual tier 1 deck. So I'll have to figure out a new for fun deck. But yeah,
We'll see. We'll see. I'm pretty curious about the deck building, anyways, because the card pool, honestly, is pretty limited with about 100,
uh-huh.
180 cards, and I think some of them are old arts, right? So yeah, I think 150 cards, different cards, mechanically unique cards, or is it 180 mechanically unique?
I think with the exact, I think what you're saying is right. I think it's 180 something, but the iconic rare, there's 31 iconic rares, so that brings it past 200. But so I thought
I,
the low
yeah,
card
okay.
count might be bad, but if you look at a card game like Gundam TCG, which has a large player base as well, and that's a new TCG, I guess they did fine. They were fine. Those boxes are like $300. That game is like a year to a year and a half old. The first release boxes are like $400.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah, and they had a small set too. So I think I didn't like it at first, but I'm gonna talk about sorcery again. But I opened 7 beta boxes of sorcery, and that is like a 300 and something base set. I have not opened a single copy of a lot of cards, and
Yes,
that are elites, or those are elites are
yes.
rares. I haven't opened every elite. that's
With
that's
with
pretty
with a little
bad.
more, yeah, that's pretty bad. With a little more than one case, especially with the correlation problems in sorcery, you don't get anywhere. I opened 3 cases and of first wave beta, and 1 case of alpha. But let's talk about the 3 cases of first wave beta. And I still needed 15 uniques and 1 elite that I didn't have in 18 boxes. So I needed to trade for those. I had a case with 4 philosopher stones, one of them foil, and several cores and
Nice.
everything. And I had a case with no foil uniques, no cores, no
Oh.
stone, nothing.
Have you
So
ever have you ever opened a Curiosa?
yes, I opened 1 curio in those 3 cases. Not in my
Nice.
alpha, but in the 3 beta case, I have an avatar of Earth sketch art from Severin
Oh, so
Pinault.
you opened 2 curios.
No, I opened 1.
Oh, I thought the sketch card is a curio.
Yeah. But that's my curio. That's the one I opened. Which one
Oh, I
did you
thought
think I have?
I thought Eric's Curiosa is a curio also.
Uh, you have an Eric's Curiosa curio and you have a normal one, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't open the Eric's Curiosa curio. I only opened the Avatar of Earth
Oh, I
curio,
see. Okay.
and I had it signed by I that one I graded, and I had the graded the slab signed by Severin
Oh,
at the Arthurian Legends launch in
yeah.
Essen, which was
Well,
pretty fun.
here's a cool idea for future Cyberpunk sets. They can have the artists, since they're very pro. So there's a lot of concern that the art in Cyberpunk was AI, but they
Yeah.
announced that it's not. It's artists drawing, creating it. And if
Where,
they
where
wanted to
where have
have,
you again in between? Where have you seen that? Because I've seen that as well. Then I looked for it. I couldn't find it anymore because I was
they,
like one of the
I think
first.
it's on
Yeah.
their campaign page. It says
Okay.
our art is made by human artists, and they support them. Also, they're
Yeah.
very anti AI. I got in trouble for using AI in my videos, my thumbnails. So that's why
Oh,
they're
okay.
yeah, they reached out. They said that they're very anti AI. So
Good to hear.
they're like, please do not use AI in your thumbnails. It's like, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll just, that's why if you see my thumbnails where I just put myself as I started just using a picture of myself. I was like, all right, I don't need an AI avatar. I got myself. Let's go. So
And they didn't like it.
I think it's actually funny now. Oh no, they're fine with me using myself. I just
Oh,
can't use it because I had Chat GPT make an AI version of me. I said make a cyberpunk version of me. So
yeah. Okay.
I
Fair enough.
wanted to use that as example. So I mean, sorry, I
I
wanted to
get it.
use that as my avatar for my thumbnails for cyberpunk, and they're like, oh no, you
No.
can't. So I was like, all right, I'll use myself, and they're like, okay, that's fine. And I was like, okay. So now it's just a meme. Now it's
It's
just like a personal meme. I'm just gonna use my face as
yeah. It's funny that they react to that
yeah. I
because
mean that no, that's good though. That means that they're very anti AI. I was just doing it because I thought it would be funny to have an anime version of because the nurse, or not nurses, but uh, a paramedic in Cyberpunk is called, they're it's actually a corporation called the trauma team. So the trauma team is like this
it's the
flying
one with the bracelets, right? Where you pay and you get better
yeah,
service.
so you pay and you get like the most premium or prim medical
they
service.
even get you out of a gunfight
Yeah,
with like
yeah, and
big
they have
gunships and stuff. Yeah, I had that
they
in
have
one of
their
my
own.
adventures.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. They have their own
yeah,
like private security team. That's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah. So like so they're like they have like this little like caution area, and they're like back up, like get step away from the patient, and they come at
Exactly.
you with guns, and then the trauma team comes in and stabilizes the patient, loads them onto like their like ambulance, and then they fly off. Like
Mhm.
that's actually kind of cool. So anyway, that was
That's
my
pretty
whole
cool.
thing was I was like, all right, make me a trauma team member,
Yeah.
and it did it. I was like,
Oh,
oh, this looks so badass, and then they're like, bro, that's AI, and I was like, how'd you know? They're like, it looks too good. I was like, ah, shit,
uh,
you're right.
but
So
I think it's still awesome that they approached you and they actually watch your videos because
yeah,
once we made the video last time, the stream together or the podcast together, and I somewhere at the end of the video mentioned, oh, I don't think I'm big enough. I applied, but I haven't heard anything. Like 2 hours later, after we released the video, I got a message from them, and they were like, "Hey man, you're not too small. The channel is not too small. The content is really cool. Thanks a lot, and I approved you for the content creator section."
yeah,
That was super nice. So they
yeah,
actually watched the whole video and stuff.
yeah,
That I really can appreciate that because that's a thing I sometimes
yeah,
miss from
yeah.
other
So
companies and other TCGs.
yeah,
I feel they are involved and they have the people
hmm
to do that, and that
yeah.
is super positive. I mean,
Well, yeah, they have a whole uh people like just to watch social media, or I
nice.
mean not just watch it, but like to their community reps. So their
Yeah.
whole job is to, I'm assuming, like monitor the community and build it. So this is an example of sorcery that
Yeah.
I keep bringing it up because this is
Yeah.
important. You want to lurk. You want to look at what other gaming companies are doing wrong. So sorcery is not expanding. They don't do any of this. They're just like, if our game's good, it'll expand. But you
Let
need
me
to, yeah,
let me
go ahead.
quickly intervene. They have a person who is responsible for social media and everything, Chase, and he's a very good guy. But I think it's just too much for him sometimes.
Yeah, you
So
gotta. I mean,
yeah,
there's a ton of them. I think they're hiring. They hired more people from for Weirdco, which
yeah.
is they should have, because they increased our funding from probably expected several mil to 28 or 0.5 mil. I think it was 28.8. So they're like, oh, we're
Crazy.
rich. Let's hire some more people. So yeah, but this is
Smart
huge. You
move.
want to, yeah, you want to get more people. I'm pretty sure most of my viewer base is actually probably Lego and Warhammer players, and Conquest. Probably very few Conquest, but that's most of my viewership. And I'm actually curious how many people that watched the Cyberpunk videos backed the game, right? So this is important because even like a small channel like mine, I only have like 14.2K followers. Like even those small, if you can get like 1 to 200 backers from just that small channel, that's already a lot. You know what I mean? And then those, it's like a pyramid scheme. Like those people will get their friends because they're like, oh, I want to build my local group. So those few people will get a few more people, and that just keeps spreading like the plague.
Don't underestimate your influence. You say only like close to 15K. I mean, for me that's a lot. I only have 2.5K,
Yeah.
and for European standards, it's not that bad. But I know for a fact that my core community, which is very dedicated, and that's with the channel for years, and the channel is growing slowly but steadily over the years. So that's good. But those people actually do listen to what I say, and I don't say buy this or buy that. I normally never do. I say
Mhm.
I will back this because I want to see if it's nice, or I have bought this because I think it's a good game. And then they make their own choices. But I know for a fact that the critical mass is bigger than you think, which we have influence on. And that's not meant
Yeah.
in an arrogant way at all, because I'm super small, I know, but it's definitely, it definitely has an impact.
Yeah.
Don't play your channel
Well,
down.
yeah. Well, I mean, ironically, so I did a Gundam video, and one of my coworkers went up to me. He goes, "Dude, I've been watching your videos. I didn't know that was you." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, I was looking up the new Gundam Unleash New model, and I just realized that that's you talking." I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Wait, you do Gundam, and also you saw you were watching my videos?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, don't tell anyone. I don't want anyone
Yeah.
at work knowing I do this." So
I had the same. I kept the low profile as well. Yes,
yeah,
it's sometimes better. Yeah, but in the end, more people than you know watch this. It's crazy sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm very curious how this will develop, but I got high hopes and good hopes for the Cyberpunk TCG, and I have to say the community is very engaged. I have made a couple of Cyberpunk videos now, and I actually made a poll yesterday amongst all my viewers, and I think I got like 200 responses on a poll, which is pretty nice. Normally, nobody clicks. I asked them, "Do you want the Magic the Gathering video tonight, a sorcery video, or a Cyberpunk video?" And I think it was like 25% Magic the Gathering and I don't know, 30% sorcery and 45% cyberpunk. So it was pretty close, but the fact that cyberpunk being pretty new on my channel, just a couple of weeks and maybe like 10 videos in, won this was surprising me, I have to say. And the views are very good. And I don't do it for the views, but I think it's interesting to see that the game has that much traction at the moment. That's a good sign.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a ton of people just searching Cyberpunk TCG. So it's really good actually to search up like Cyberpunk TCG and see a bunch of different creators making content. If I type something in and I just see, let's say, what's the biggest person back in the game, like Red Zone Rogue and Main Deck Dan. I think Red Zone Rogue. I think I actually have more followers than Main Deck Dan, but those are like the two most popular people, right? So if I only see Red Zone Rogue and Main Deck Dan making content for a game, I'm probably like, oh, that's weird. How come no one else is talking about this game? But if I type in Cyberpunk TCG and I see every single video is a different content creator, that shows that there's a lot of community engagement. It's probably like natural, right? Like for me and for you, I'm pretty sure, and I'm sure those two also, they want to build their community, and like all these people who are passionate about the game are trying to build their community, and that's like good that you have all these people, right? So yeah, that's good that there's so many people like wanting to talk about this game, having engagement with players, asking questions and comments. Like all of that is good. There's a lot of smaller people like who do we have? We have like Snapquester Mage. He does like a lot of videos, and his videos have like a lot of effort put into it. I think he calculated all the types of decks. And we have another new person who just joined, I think, King Fen or KP Cyberpunk. He does a lot of videos too, and he talks about like deck builds of what's been spoiled. So yeah, there's all these different types of people. Everyone's from different backgrounds. Like that Snapquester guy, I believe he is like a math teacher. I work in surgery. You're a video game person. You're in video games and cards. Like you're like the top of like actual gaming. And then like I'm from like surgery, and this math teacher. There's like just a regular main deck. Dan is, I believe he works in a games. He actually works in an LGS. So there's all these different levels of the community, and we're all just coming together to support this game. So I think it's good.
I think that's a good sign, because it says a lot about the community and about the IP that it brings the community together. And like you said, you see a lot of different content creators pop up, new content creators as well, with as low as 200 subs, which I don't care about. I just love those people are making content, and that they get the engagement, like you said. It's like, hey, oh, this video has a couple of thousand views, and it's a nice video, and it deserves it. But how does this channel only still have like 200 subs? Why are the people not subscribing if they actually like the video? But that's an interesting thing to see, that there is a lot of hunger for cyberpunk content, and that in general says a lot as well, of course, already. Doesn't matter where you come from, which background you come from, or gaming or surgery, or like you said, teacher or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you like the same thing, it's all good. We're all nerds and proud of it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a ton of community engagement, because like I said, that Learn to Play, there's so much engagement that I'm actually hosting an event using only the alpha decks, And I'm just the prize support. I'm just funding. I put like a $5 entry fee, 5 USD, to just end the. I'm gonna give all that to the store, and I just bought a shit ton of just Cyberpunk themed stuff to raffle off, like
Nice.
playmats and whatever,
Oh,
and
very
just
cool.
to make people come and just celebrate the completion of the Kickstarter. And then I'm doing like 3 trophies to hand out to the top 3, but all the other prizes will just be raffled off. And then I'm debating on if I should supply lunch also, like Costco pizza or something. But anyway, I'm
Yeah,
just saying, like, there's so many people that are excited for the game that I have
yeah.
to do this big old event, and I'm fine funding it because I really like Cyber. This is how good CD Projekt Red, your anime, is. I'm willing to just fund this shit myself because I actually like the IP and I want this game to take off. So yeah, let's
But
go.
that I love that, and you know, I do the same approach for Cyberpunk, not yet, but I'm planning to, and I do it for Sorcery, and I do the tournament for basically a very low fee, which directly goes to the venue or whatever, and the rest more or less is free, and we supplement it, and we pay for all our travel and organization and everything ourselves. So in the end, I'm down a lot of money, but I just enjoy growing the community, and like you already started, I plan to do that for Cyberpunk as well. So I'm looking forward to that, and I see that people want it. When I mentioned that on my Discord, I have a little section now I created for Cyberpunk, and my Discord is not huge, but it's very nice because you get to talk to people easily, and it's a very close community. It's that core community I mentioned before. People actually join just for the Cyberpunk talk, and not 1 or 2, but maybe like a dozen, which for my Discord is a lot just in one go. So there is, people are searching for a place to just talk about the game. May it be an LGS where somebody explains it to them. May it be a small Discord. The big Discord is good, the official Discord, obviously, but maybe it's even too big. Then you're not heard.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's too big.
Yeah.
You'll type a message and it's already like 20 messages behind, which is
Yes.
good. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's also good to have a little bit smaller
Yep.
community.
Agreed. No. What do you think? Want to keep it to those thoughts today? We're just above an hour, a little longer than last time. I think it's quite something to digest for the viewers. Then let's do another one next time and keep it to this for now.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Hey, folks, as always, stay healthy, stay frosty. Let us know in the chat and in the comments if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, check out Surgical Ninja's channel. I'm going to add you as a cooperative, or how do you call this, like cooperation thing. Again, then people will see it on your channel as well. But if you come from my channel, definitely join his channel too, because it's a very versatile channel that just likes a lot of nerd stuff, just like mine. So that's great. Stay healthy, folks. Stay frosty. I talk to you next time. Bye, man. Bye, everyone.